take yourselves off mute if you don't mind. Well, this is you getting a surprise today. Denny is obviously not here because I am Denny for the day. He's headed back home from Alaska and his plane got delayed, so he's somewhere in the sky. So I've been called in to help him out a bit. So let's go around, and guys, I want to hear where you're from and how long you've been in the business and what you're hoping to get out of today. So let's start with Liliana. Did I pronounce that correctly?
That's correct.
Awesome.
Hi, John. This is Liliana. I'm in Canada.
What part of Canada?
North of Toronto.
Okay. Beautiful up there.
Yes. Have you been to Canada?
Yeah, actually, I was born in Syracuse. We still have property just south of Kingston on the U.S. side.
Oh,
So I
nice.
spent a lot of time up on Lake Ontario.
Yeah, so my location is close to, it's called Blue Mountain.
Okay.
It's on Lake Huron.
Excellent. And what are you hoping to get out of today, Liliana?
I would like to get some feedbacks on the role practice and play because I'm new in business, so I love to learn how to maneuver situation that comes and arise every day. There are different scenarios.
Now, I know in Canada you have different laws than we have here in the States.
That's correct.
Correct? Okay. So when we get to some of these scripts and ideas, if they conflict with your local laws, let me know. We'll be able to hopefully modify them a bit. For instance, I don't believe you guys are allowed to contact expired listings. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, good. So tell me about what you're doing right now. What type of marketing or lead generation strategies are you using right now?
In regards to the marketing, because I'm new in business, I start being part of the local clubs and connecting in social media and stuff, helping poor kids back to school backpack. And after the COVID, there are a lot of people that are suffering through that. So being part of organization that provide help to family that have a tough situation going through.
Excellent. And it looks like the younger version of you has arrived.
Yes.
Is that your daughter?
Rita? No?
I don't know. She has your name on there also. So,
okay.
Oh no, we're good friends. We're good friends. She's
excellent. You're in the same account, so that's okay.
okay.
If you don't mind,
I was just telling her how good this practice role is and ask her to join. So Rita, are you able to change the name? Apparently it's coming under my name too.
Sure,
Yeah, let me see if I could change it.
Awesome.
Thank you, John.
No problem. Is it Marie or Mary? How do you pronounce your name? And you're muted. There you go.
Marie.
Marie. All right. So just for a little bit of fun, Marie, what's your native language?
Spanish.
Okay. Lo siento, mi español es malo. That's what I got. And Liliana, I haven't had French since, well, it's been probably 30 years, 35 years since I was in high school. So my French is worse than my Spanish. My apologies. Now, Marie, where are you from?
Well, I work in California, in the Palmdale area. I am like 1 hour away from downtown. So I work all around Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'm originally from Peru, but I live here most of my life. And I've been in the business for now 2.5 years full time. And what I want to get out of this meetings is to learn the best ways to overcome objections.
Okay, terrific. And we will get to some specific objections that you're coming into here shortly. Awesome, thank you. Bryant, how about you?
I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My license went active February of last year. That's when COVID hit. And what I'm hoping to get out of this is really the power of questions. What kind of questions are more effective with sellers or buyers? What specifically questions that you are using, not necessarily what you're using, but what questions are you asking that helps them engage or feel like you care for their situation. Because ultimately,
Excellent.
when you ask questions, it gives you the answers.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And by the way, the reason why I'm asking where everyone's is from is you're going to have opportunities to be able to send business back and forth throughout your career. It's always great to make connections. We've got 2 people from Northern Toronto area. We've got one from Los Angeles area, one from Baton Rouge. Pretty soon, we're going to be talking to somebody from Naples. I see she just came on. And James, you're up next. I apologize, James. I forget where you're from.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, that's right. How you doing today, bud?
Doing well. We get a lot of the Canadians coming down this way. I don't know about how, I was just curious, how is the Canadian market? Are a lot of people moving up into Canada or mostly moving down to warmer climates?
I would love to move to Arizona if I can afford it.
You still can. It's way better than LA.
Yes, I have friends and families that moved from California to Arizona, and they told me that's beautiful and the weather is good. So
Well, if you have any more friends that are moving from California to Arizona, make a referral, 25% to you. I'm happy to help them.
That's awesome. See?
Thank you.
And now, Moses, what is up with your screen, dude? I have a feeling we got somebody who's a fan of the Florida Gators there. A little bit orange. Being colorblind, it could be yellow or red or green. I have no idea. Moses bounced around. So, all right. So, Rita, take yourself off mute. Tell us a little bit about what you are hoping to get out from today.
Hi, thank you, Liliana, for giving me the Zoom meeting. So I am from Mississauga in Ontario, Canada, and I've been in real estate for 6 months. So just kind of learning the ropes and just learning from the experts and just kind of, you know, getting the confidence to get out there and get some leads and get some clients. And so that's my forte.
Awesome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
T. Barron, who is one of my favorite people on this planet. You guys have anyone that is looking to go down to Southwest Florida, by the way, you need to talk to T.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
So T, I don't know if you can see the screen. I am Denny for the day because, as you know, he is stuck on a plane. By the way, T and I are both on Denny's team down here in Southwest Florida. So, T, what are you looking to get out of today?
I didn't have any expectations, so I'm just open to whatever I receive.
Awesome. I can absolutely fill 0 expectations. That's pretty easy.
Good. Don't disappoint me.
Thanks, T. And last but not least, Moses, are you there? Moses is muted. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started.
He may be building an ark or something.
Bryant, do you know Moses?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, it could be lunchtime. All right, so let's get rolling here, guys. So we have a few things that you've all wanted to cover today, and one of the things that stands out was Bryant's comments about questions. All right. When you're talking to well, first, you guys want to cover sellers? You want to cover buyers? What are you having the biggest challenge with, Bryant?
I would say sellers first.
Okay.
FSBOs maybe.
All right. So, Bryant, we're going to put you right on the spot. All right. I'd like you to be the agent, and you're going to be sitting down at a table with the seller. The seller is going to be T. Barron. All right. And T is going to give you an objection. Yeah, maybe it's something along the lines of, I want to sell it myself, or maybe the market's slowing down or something like that. And let's hear how you do it. And how we're going to do this, we're going to have about 3 or 4 minutes on each one of these role plays. I'm going to ask you what you think you did well, and what you think you could have done better. And then we're going to go through some specifics that on how to be able to improve the questions along the way. Is that all right?
Okay. So what was the person's name again?
This is T. It shows up on your screen as Tanina.
Tania. Okay.
Okay, just call her T. It's a lot easier.
T.
All right. And just start with a closing question, ask her to do business, and then she's going to go ahead and challenge you a little bit.
Great, T. From what I see now, it looks like we're a perfect fit. When you want to go ahead and put this on the market?
Moses, thanks so much for coming by today, and I really appreciate all the information you shared with me, but I really just feel like I can do it myself.
You can do it yourself. And what makes you think that in this market today, it's easier to do it yourself?
Well, everything, houses are going so fast. My neighbor sold theirs for sale, they didn't hire anyone, didn't have to pay anyone to do it. And, I could save some money like that.
Yeah. And did they get their asking price, or did they just say they sold it themselves?
I'm sorry.
Did they get their asking price and pay no concessions, or did they?
Yeah, they got what they wanted for it.
Okay. And do you think that buyer that wanted that specific house, that there's another buyer that wants one like yours?
Yeah. My house is so much nicer. Look around. It's so nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, how important is it to you to get your asking price?
That's important.
Okay. If you were to list your house and you don't get a buyer, where do you go then?
I'm going to get a buyer because they're just everywhere. They're like lining up outside on the street to go see houses. So I don't think I'll have a problem getting people to come.
All right, Brian,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a question to ask her, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And so guys, when you're asking questions about a seller, especially in this case, a for sale by owner, I can get my asking price. So off script, you know what? Anybody can get their asking price. I can walk across the street and get you a check tomorrow to sell your house. You may not like it. The key is, are you getting top market value? It's not asking price is not top market value. So T, if Bryant was to ask you a question like this, T, I know you want to sell it on your own. Are you sure you're putting the most money in your pocket by selling on your own, by getting the absolute top market value for your property? Muted.
I'll try to write this down.
Can I ever know that? Like, how will I know?
All right, Bryant, how will you know if she's going to get the absolute top market value for a property? That's her question. Take it from there.
Well, T, are you familiar with all the sales that's actually happened in the area?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, there's actually been 3 houses that have sold over market value. Do you know what that price is?
No.
And did you know those houses were listed?
I've seen houses go on the market and then they sell like the next day.
Really? Okay. And then which one? Because I specialize in this area with my team and we stay on top of the market. Where did you see this one at?
The one my neighbor sold for sale by owner, and then the one like around the corner on Main Street.
Okay.
And did they get over asking price? Like, top dollar?
I don't know.
Okay, perfect.
You don't know. Okay. Well, T, look, it seems like $15,000 or $20,000 could be a big difference for you. Is that right?
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, the houses that were listed by my team in the area sold over market value. The buyers paid more with down payment, and they were able to, just depending on how we were able to market the property, present the home, promote the home, it was done professionally, other than just showing and going, like a lot of FSBOs do. Can you see where that brings a lot more value to your property, where someone's going to actually put more money into the home because there's going to be more competition?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. Well, what reason would you not want to sell your home with an agent that specializes in the area?
Because I don't feel like I need one. I feel like I can do it without you. Like in the tougher market, yeah, I've always used an agent before, but now it's just like, my dog could sell the house. He's super cute.
Yeah, at this point, I'm walking away.
Okay.
You said,
No-
you said
no
your
worries,
dog can sell
Brian.
your house.
All right. So up to this point, Brian, what do you think you did well?
Stay calm.
Good.
You know, I asked, you know, how important is it to you? And I figure out, you know, it is, but so far as, I guess, just not trying to think about the answer. It would all just flowed out.
Okay. And T, how do you feel Brian did?
I'll be honest, most of the time I was confused about what he was telling me. And so I wasn't sure about where he was going, but I didn't follow. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep. So Brian, what was T's reason for selling for sale by owner?
Well, we were already past that. I was closing.
She said she wants to do it herself because she can. But
Yeah,
why?
I mean, I would have already asked that question before I've even gone to the listing presentation.
Okay. So we were at a point where she's still considering selling on her own. So
Yeah.
you may have handled it. It sounds to me like you didn't handle it in a way where she accepted the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So remember the formula in all conversations, guys. Whenever you give any objection, you write this down if you want. Acknowledge the objection first and foremost. You know, T, I understand that you want to sell it on your own. Isolate it. Other than selling it on your own, is there anything that's preventing us from moving forward? No. Next, handle. Now here's where we get into the crux of this whole thing. You have to go back and dig deeper. So T, what is it about selling the home on your own that you really want to accomplish?
I just feel like if I don't have to pay an agent, then I can, I can net more money to go buy the other house.
Okay. So what I hear you saying, T, is you feel if you don't have an agent, you will net more money. Is that correct?
Right.
So it sounds like putting the most money in your pocket is really the most important thing for you. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Okay. Is there anything else other than putting the most money in your pocket you possibly can? Is there anything else keeping us from moving forward?
No.
Okay, great. So T, if I can show you, I'm not saying I can, but if I can show you how working with me will put more money in your pocket, even after paying a reasonable professional fee, you will net more money in the end. Are you open to that conversation?
If you're going to give me more money, then yeah, I'll listen.
Okay, terrific. And now guys, here's where you would go into a story. Who has a story or knows of a story of a for sale by owner in this case that had their property on the market, for sale by owner, didn't sell, then they listed and the agent sold it for an amount significantly higher than they had it listed for? Well, we'll give you a story. How's that? So price point is kind of immaterial, but I'll use the actual price points here. So, T, we had a client just like you who was selling their home on their own. They had it listed for $220,000 with no offers. We came in and listed the home and sold it for $269,000. Do you think that seller was happy?
Yeah.
Would you like to be that happy?
Yes.
Telling stories. Everybody can relate to a story. We all had grandparents, right? At one point in our lives. You remember sitting around a campfire with your grandparents or a dinner table or Christmas time, and they start telling you all these stories, parables, whatever you want to call them. And it all brings back good memories. I can see Liliana and Marie smiling a little bit there. You know what I'm talking about, okay? People relate to stories. Every objection that is given to you can be handled with a story. Get yourself a bank of stories that you can have at will anytime a situation comes up. So Bryant, when you have a seller that says, hey, I can sell it on my own. You know what? Absolutely. Agree with them. Are you getting the most money in your pocket? So for sale by owners, the only way to know, and with any listing, the only way to know if you're getting the most money for them that they possibly can get is to expose their property to the entire market.
Hey, John, aren't we supposed to call them unassisted sellers now? They're not.
I like that term, James.
I love that term.
Unassisted sellers. I like that. So your unassisted seller.
That's right.
What tools do they have at their disposal?
Brian can ask the seller, how many houses have you sold in the last year? And go that avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know about that one. I mean, that one feels like more of a challenge. Like, I'm like,
It does.
it's that's, I don't know.
Well, she did say she had sold the home before with realtors. You should ask, well, did you have a good experience? And did they handle all of the paperwork and all the problems and concerns that came up to get you to a successful closing? Because
They're terrible, James. I hated them. That's why I'm going on my own.
Well, understand. Well, there's a lot of bad agents out there too that don't know what they're doing. But you know, there's about 180 steps that lead to a closing of a home. And you know, for instance, have you already done your spuds? Have you already put together your clue? Do you know all that paperwork? The people that are coming to your house are going to be represented by buyers. You understand that, right? Buyers agents.
Yep.
And the agents are going to be looking out for their buyers. Who do you have looking out for you?
James, you're going down a great road here. Okay.
Yeah. I want to hear James talk.
You're going down a
James
great
talk
road
more.
here. So think about this, guys. When a for sale by owner says they want to do it themselves, they want to save the commission. Right? There's a few things going through the head. First of all, they already have it set in their mind. This is the sales price. It does not matter whether I sell it myself or I hire an agent. Here's my sales price. There's their first mistake. Second mistake, they think they're saving X percent. 4%, 5%, 7%, 6%, whatever it is, whatever's normal in your market, they think they're saving the whole thing. James, what's going to happen when they put their house up for sale by owner? There's going to be another agent involved, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So really, you're not saving, let's use 6%. You're not saving 6%, you're saving 3%. How much is it going to cost you to market the home? How much is my experience worth?
I love Denny's. Do you cut your own hair?
Yeah.
Go to a professional for a reason.
Yeah. Do you cut your own hair? Did you take your own appendix out?
Right. There's a reason why you hire a professional, because they know what they're doing. They've done this every day, day in and day out.
Exactly right. So you want to help break it down to the ridiculous. And then you finish with the story was, hey, you know, after all that, you're really looking to save 1%. And we just put 18% more in a seller's pocket. What's better to you, 1% or 18%? Okay. So you have these stories at the ready because they absolutely work. They absolutely work. Is that helpful? All right, Liliana. Okay, so let's talk about one of the objections that you would like to handle. Now or one of the situations you're in. So obviously in Canada, you cannot call expired listings. Are you allowed to call for sale by owners? Yes? Rita's
Yes.
saying yes. I'm going to go with Rita. Thank you, Rita. Okay. Relatively new in the business. How about a database? How big's your database? How many people do you know?
Very few.
You know very few people?
Yes.
So if I go on Facebook and I look you up, it's going to say friends is like 5?
No, because I have people from overseas that I have more friends there than
Okay.
here
So where are your friends overseas?
in Europe. So I cannot sell houses there for the time being.
Okay, fair enough. Do those people know people?
Yes, but not where I am.
No, maybe, maybe not.
Well, that's
All
why
right.
I'm trying to connect with influencer in the area
Okay.
to bring up my database. But I would love to discuss one of the scenarios that I came across last night.
Let's have it.
Your feedback. So I walk on the street and one of my neighbors cleaning up the yard because they just don't have rentals anymore. And I knocked at their door and I said, "Are you looking to sell or are you looking to rent?" And he said, "Well, I'm looking to rent my place, but my wife would love to do herself because that's the way we'll save 1 month rent. Otherwise, they have to pay me the 1 month rent if I bring them a rental."
Mhm.
And I said, "So when is the place ready?" And he said, "Within a week, the place will be ready. I will take pictures and put it myself on the MLS. But I would love the idea for you to help us, but my wife wants to do by herself. So in a week, I will have to follow up with that person and see if I can convince them to give me, be able to sign a contract and do the rental. Because what I foresee in the future is that the house will be for sale because they are renting it and now they kind of probably."
So we have three things going on here. A very similar conversation to what we just did with Bryant. The do-it-yourself, okay? The unassisted seller, unassisted landlord. You have a future seller in the owner of that property. You also have a future buyer, the tenant that goes in there,
That's right.
okay? So you have three opportunities wrapped up into one. Start with the pain point. The husband would love to hire an agent. The wife doesn't. The wife wants to save whatever 1 month's rent is, couple $1,000s, whatever it is. So what are some of the pain points that a landlord will have when trying to rent their property out? Shout them out, guys. What are some of the pain points that they're going to have? James, you're off mute. Go ahead.
How long are you gonna be able to sit there and let it be vacant?
How long will it be vacant for? Okay. Bryant.
Yeah, exactly what he said, time sitting there.
Okay.
Vacancy rate.
I think the legal work of the paperwork is
Do you have the lease done right? Is the paperwork
Yes.
done right? You know, that can be,
Background checks and screenings. I mean,
Yeah.
people that horror
and the
stories
credit
with
checks.
renters. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
so, okay, great. They've done it before. They have a rental property. They put a tenant in there a year ago. Who remembers without going on to Facebook what they did a year ago? I can't figure it out. That's why I'm glad they have the Facebook memories because, oh, this is what I did a year or two. I don't remember. Do you remember? If you don't do something every day, you forget steps. So at what cost is it going to be or potentially going to be to that landlord if they make a mistake? The husband understands that. The husband also understands time. How much time is involved in finding a tenant? So one way you might approach it is, what do you guys do for work? And how's it going to interrupt your work day if you have to show property? The tenant can only see it at 1 p.m. You have to leave work. What does that do? And you have to show it to 10 tenants and then go through 10 credit checks and da, 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 da. And all of a sudden, well, if you're like me, you'll talk yourself out on wanting to do rentals after that, but that's immaterial. You want to get this person in your database because you're going to have a buyer and a seller in a year. That's how you need to look at it. So start creating a pain point. And the pain point is real simple. Is do you want to put this much time and this much energy and still have the exposure of maybe not getting everything done right?
Well, the experience they have with the last rental had not a great one because the neighbor complained, and the neighbor seeing me there, she said, "You look very credible. I would love you to check all this rental because we had bad experience and we gave so much hard time to the actually owner, asking them to screen check before they create so much trouble in the neighborhood. And I live in the neighborhood, so I said to him, well, I will make sure that you have quality people there, not creating trouble for you or for the neighborhood."
You know, there's a point you can address with them too. I live in the neighborhood just like you. I'm an expert in the neighborhood just like you. And I can take this pressure off of you, time, predominantly time, not only their time in showing, but you are more likely to get a tenant in there sooner If they wait 60 days to get a tenant in there, what does that do for the cash flow? They have to make a mortgage payment. And even if they own it outright, that's 60 days worth of rent that they're not getting, which is money they don't get. Nobody invests to let it sit there. So you need to address the timeliness that you can put somebody in there and the liability that you take off of their shoulders.
The question was, he said, can you list it? And also, can we list it on a private site? So whoever's find first will go from there.
That's a business decision for you to make if you want to say yes to that. I honestly, personally, I probably would shy away from that unless they were going to reimburse me for any expenses that I had put out, because I don't have, you know, if I have a question as to whether or not I'm going to get paid, then I have a question as to whether or not I'm going to put forth an effort. And I think that's just kind of human nature. You'll be more motivated to get it rented if you're guaranteed you're going to get paid. Does that make sense?
It does in a way, and it doesn't in my situation, because I only have just few transactions that I start, and I'm willing to offer even free just to hold their hands and have a sale or a buy in the future, because they're gonna remember me. Oh, she did it and she didn't ask for anything. Can I do that?
That is a broker call. That's not my call. You check with your office, and if they'll allow it, then there's no problem with that. Okay, and that gets the experience under your belt. Rita?
Sorry, I have a question. So if you do something free for a potential client, doesn't it become like a norm for them that you become like a discounted realtor?
It does.
Because they don't see you as like, you know, somebody that they want to pay full price, because you've come with that norm.
Another story. How many of you guys on here have kids? All right. Or how many of you are close to being a kid? Brian, you can raise your hand now. You certainly seem to be the youngest one here. So if you've ever given your kids a gift, or they went out and bought it on their own with their allowance money, which one lasts longer?
The one that bought it.
The one that bought it, right?
The one they pay for it, yeah.
Yeah, the one that they paid for themselves, that they earned the money, they paid for it because they saw that it took, I bought this, I had to work 10 weeks worth of allowance to get this. So that's how they're going to perceive it. Where if it just shows up on their doorstep, like, oh, look at this, the gift fairy showed up, dropped something on my doorstep. If it breaks, the gift fairy will be back again. It's the same concept. So Rita, that's a great point that you brought up. Do they see the value? There's things that are free for a reason.
Not only that, Liliana's doing it to feed her family. So she, you know, she's putting food on the table when she sells or leases a property. So, I mean, if you're doing things for free, would you say to your doctor, can you, you know, do this surgery for free because, you know, it's not that complicated. Could you just do it for me, you know, and not charge me? I mean, any other professional you go to, you don't go to a hairstylist and say, hey, can you cut my hair for free because it's not that long? You know, I mean, it's like saying, hey, we want you to work for free. You're a professional. You've been trained, you've got experience. So you have to make them understand that, you know, your services aren't free because you're giving them value.
Does that make sense, Liana?
Yes, it's a great experience. Yeah. So in the meantime, should I present them the value of their house in order for them to have just to create?
How about ask them this question? Say, you know, the market's crazy and I know you want to rent. If somebody knocked on your door and wrote you a check for your house, and you looked at that check and said, you know what, I have to sell because this number is so big. How much is that? And then they're going to tell you a number, 400,000, 800,000, 1.5 million, whatever it is. You know, if we could sell it for that, why wouldn't you? All right, everything is for sale. Don't let anyone fool you on that. All right, so we're going to do another role play. We're going to have some fun with this. We're going to have Mary and James. All right. James, you're the agent. Mary, you're the buyer. The scenario is the property is on the market for 400,000. and you want to offer 325 with an FHA loan, don't laugh. It does happen. All right, James, you're going to handle that one.
Okay, Mari, so you're ready to put in an offer on this house. You really love it. What do you think we should do here?
Sure, I love the house. I think we should send an offer for 320.
320. Okay, now you know it's listed at 4.
Yes.
Okay, and you kind of, you feel like it's a buyer's market or a seller's market right now?
Well, you know, yeah, I am qualified, and I think that I have a chance to get a 320. I really want to get a good deal.
Well, there's lots of chances. Now, are you looking to bid on a house or are you looking to buy a house? Because, you know, we can go out and bid on houses all day. But in this market, going $80,000 under the asking price, we're finding in a lot of cases that the list price is the starting point, not the end point. So if you wanted to, I certainly can put an offer in at 320, but I just want to let you know, most houses are selling over the list price, not discounted.
So you're saying that I have to offer minimum the asking price for 100?
Well, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that's what the market is kind of indicating right now. What we're seeing is predominantly in the market, most homes, if you look at the homes around there, the comps that we've shared, most of those homes have gone over the asking price. So if you feel confident that you think the home that you really love would be sold at 320,000, we can put an offer in. But you know, I'm just letting you know that you may not get the house, and I want to prepare you for that in this market. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't want to lose the house. I want the house, but I want to get it for the list price. If I can get it for 400, I will put an offer for 400.
Okay, so let's say someone comes in and puts an offer in for $400,500, and you lose the house over $500. Would you be okay with that?
Of course not. $500 is, you know, not much. Yeah, I would, if I could, yeah, of course I would offer more. I would.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that you really love this house and you want this house.
Yeah, I want this house, but I don't want to pay too much.
Oh, understood. But what do you consider too much?
Well, I don't want to pay like over the price that, you know, other people wouldn't pay. Is there any way that I can know how much they're paying?
Know how much everybody else is offering on the house?
Right.
Well, we don't know that until all the offers are in. And unfortunately, by that point, we're kind of late to get to the party. You know, they're going to make a decision probably within the next week or two. And so we have to have our offer in order to be considered. You got to be in the market to win in the market. So if we're sitting on the sidelines hoping to figure out what the price is going to be, the chances are the house will be sold before we get an offer in.
Okay, so if I offer 410,000, would I get a second chance if somebody else offer more than my offer price? Would I get a second chance to offer more?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And yeah, there's definitely things we can put escalation clauses in there up to a certain point where you could match another offer, beat another offer coming in. That's definitely a possibility. Or we could just figure out what your best and final offer is. And if you want to go there and just put in your best foot forward and try to get the house, we can do that as well. It's really whatever you feel comfortable with. You tell me what you'd like to do.
I think I can go for 410.
And you want to put an escalation in there as well? So up to what point?
Well, if somebody offers more than 410, I'm willing to go over that. My max would be 415.
Okay, so 415. So if someone came in and offered 415, 500, and you didn't get the house, you'd be okay with that, right?
No, because 500, I still can make it to 416.
Well, Mari, see, we're trying to figure out what is your best and final offer. And really, when we need to figure out where it's at that you would be able to sleep at night if you didn't get the house. You'd be okay with not getting the house. So obviously it's not 415. What is the price you think that you'd be okay with if someone else beat you out and you could still sleep at night because you didn't get the house, but you didn't overpay either.
Okay, so yeah, my final number would be 420.
Okay, so 420. So for 420, 500, you're good with that. You can sleep at night. You're fine. Let's go find another house. That's how you feel?
Yes, yeah, that'll be my max.
Okay, very good. So what we'll do is, why don't we, you were saying let's do an offer at 410, and we'll put an escalation up to a maximum of 420. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, that works.
Okay, I think will be a good competitive offer, and we will get that in. Let's see what happens. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect, Mari. Okay, let's go try to get you a house.
Okay,
James, that was awesome.
thank you.
Love it. Textbook.
That's
Absolutely
pretty good.
textbook. So James, now that I'm done heaping all these loads of compliments on you, how do you feel you did?
I felt pretty good because I followed the book of Denny, because
you were spot on.
and I've used that a couple different times, because it's exactly right. You want to put your best offer in, and so I feel very comfortable with that line of questioning, because I think it really gets to the center of the Tootsie Roll. It gets you to the core of how much is Mari willing to pay for this house, and does she really love the house that much? Because if she's, we went from 320 to 420.
Yep.
In a matter of 5 minutes. So, I mean, I think you always have to uncover, how much do you love the house versus how much of a deal you're trying to get. And it's I was trying to get her to go down the buyer seller, whose market is it, just to have her understand that, in this particular kind of market, really is seller pricing is upward. So you're probably not going to find a deal like you normally would in, say, another type of market.
Excellent. Marie, how did you feel about how James handled that?
I think that he was pretty clear in telling me what I wanted to do, not what he wanted to, not make me do what he wanted to do. So I felt that making that offer, it was something that came from me. I didn't really feel that he was pushing me to do that. I mean, he made it in a way that I was able to see it, what it was better for me.
Excellent. And James, the only thing I picked up on, and this is, kind of like bringing 5,000 grit sandpaper to polish up the paint job on a new Corvette. Don't use no jargon. Don't say things like, this is what the comps say.
All right. Yep. That's a big thing too. I missed that. You're right.
We know those terms, right? We know them because this is the business we're in.
Yep.
We can't make the assumption that the general public knows them. So
that's a good point.
Let's do our best to get away from comps and CMA and all that sort of stuff, and just talk in everyday language. So James, that was textbook. I loved it. Omiko, welcome.
Thanks.
Where are you from?
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, number 2 from Baton Rouge. Are you in the same office as Bryant's in?
I am.
Wonderful. What are you hoping to learn today?
Just to, I guess, sound normal when speaking to a potential client, and also screening them correctly.
Okay. So what sort of objections are you hearing a lot right now?
A lot of them are saying, well, I deal with buyers a lot. I do want to get into the list on, the listing side, but buyers, they're like, oh, it's a seller's market. I think I want to wait until, things calm down a little, and, they can get a better bang for their buck, pretty much.
Sure. We all hear that one a lot, right? I want to wait till the market's going down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a crystal ball, you don't, do you?
I don't.
I know this is being recorded, Denny. I promise I'm not going to talk about rum drinks. If you had a crystal ball, would you rather buy your house knowing in 6 months the value is going to be more or less?
More.
What's the market doing now? Is it going up or down?
Up.
So if you want to buy the house and in 6 months have it be worth more than it is today, are you better off buying now, or are you better off buying in a market where it's going down and 6 months later it's worth less than you paid for it?
I think it'll be better to get it now. So, because if I wait, then I could potentially be paying even more.
You could be paying more if you wait, and if the market goes down,
It wouldn't be worth it.
you buy it and the price is going down, down, down. So why not ride the equity elevator up while you still have that opportunity?
Sounds good.
Next question you can ask them is, so you want to wait till the market turns. When's that going to be?
I haven't a clue.
And you know what? No one really does. What if the market doesn't turn?
Oh, I can't pay rent forever.
That's exactly how, and this is going to what Bryant was talking about at the beginning. Asking questions. Don't try and solve their problems. They'll solve them themselves. Hi, Julie. You flashed on there for just a moment. They will.
I'm sorry, I'm driving, so.
No, we don't want to see you run into anything. Trust me. The more questions you ask, the more self-realization your clients will have. Okay.
Right.
The beauty of the self-realization is when they come to their own understanding of their situation without you telling it to them, they make the decision on their own. All right. So what you're doing is you're coaching them into the right decision.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Excellent. Who does circle prospecting?
I do.
Awesome. Awesome. I love hearing the I do's out there. That's great. We're not even at a wedding. This is great. Okay, so what sort of comments or objections or any sort of dialogue are you getting when you're calling people circle prospecting right now?
I'm not interested to sell.
Now or ever?
I'm not in the market to sell. I'm fine here. I don't know when I'll sell.
Okay. You know, and regardless of you selling, Mary, if you were to move somewhere, where'd you move to?
I like to go closer to the city. I live too far from the city.
Okay. And what is it about the city that attracts you to moving closer?
I have family close to downtown LA, and I have all the stores and hospitals. Everything is there.
Okay, so it sounds like, you know, you're gonna have some shopping and some healthcare, but it sounds like one of the more important things, your family is gonna be closer. Is that right?
Yes, but I'm not able to afford it. That's why I live here in this town.
Okay, if you could afford it though, would you go?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I would like to go, but you know, I came here because the houses are cheaper. So I'm
Okay. Now, do you know for 100% sure that you can't afford to move closer to your family?
No, I don't know 100%, but you know,
Well,
I know that I can find something at the price on my price over there.
if you could move now and afford it to be closer to your family, would you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's sit down. And by the way, this is a circle dialing call. Let's set an appointment and sit down and see if that's actually able to happen. 15, 20 minutes of your time to see if you can move closer to your family. Do you prefer today at 4 or tomorrow at 10 in the morning?
Yeah, you could come here, but I'm not selling my house. I'm not
That's
going
okay.
to sign a contract.
That's quite all right. You don't have to sell your house. I just want to see if we can move you closer to your family.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. At 4 will be fine.
Perfect. So what did we do in that little role play? What did we uncover?
Motivation. If she she wants to move, and you are bringing options, or maybe that's a possibility.
as soon as you said that you weren't 100% certain, there's an open door, right?
Yeah.
Even ivory is only 99.44% pure. So there's always an opportunity. Now, when you're there, maybe she can't sell the house in order to afford, but maybe she could rent it and cash flow enough to be able to cover the difference. She may not be able to go, or you can get the details of what she's looking to do. Maybe there's a deal on a property, an off-market property where she's looking to go that you can help facilitate. So there's, until you have a complete picture, you don't have all the answers. And the way
Right.
to get the complete picture is to ask great questions all the way through the process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. What else do you come up with when you're circle prospecting?
I'm busy right now. I don't
Great.
have
When's a good
coffee.
time to call back?
You know, I'm not selling my house, so you don't need to call me.
No, that's okay. I just want to find out which one of your neighbors is going to sell.
Well, you know, I don't know. I'm not interested in selling at all.
Which one if one of your neighbors was going to move, which one do you think it would be?
Oh, I think the one next door on the left side.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I've got their number here. I'll just kind of give them a call next. Thanks for the tip.
Okay.
Simple. Okay. Circle prospecting around just sold or just listed. This is the conversation. The conversation, don't go in the conversation saying things like, when are you going to sell? Or would you consider selling? Don't ask them any questions about themselves. Ask simple questions like, which one of your neighbors has been talking about making a move? Or is anyone in your neighborhood just recently had kids go off to college, or maybe they're expecting another child? When people call you, are you automatically defensive that they're trying to sell you something? Somebody you don't know calls you out of the blue. They try and get you an extended warranty for your car, or the new National Association of Realtors health insurance plan, or whatever it is. We are trained to be defensive, right? What's the best way of taking somebody off their guard?
Make them think. Ask them a question.
Absolutely, James, right? Spot on. Ask them a question. Ask them a question that they're not expecting. I call you as a real estate agent, you're expecting me to say, James, when do you want to sell your house?
Yeah, I'm not selling.
Hey, James, I'm just calling because there's been a lot of activity in your neighborhood, and I was just, which one of your neighbors has been considering selling?
Hey, the guy across the road, he had a sign up a couple years ago, but never did sell. So I don't know if he's still looking to move, but maybe.
Okay. What's another reaction that they could have? Well, why aren't you asking me? I might sell. Some people will get a little standoffish if you didn't ask them about selling. So don't. Just talk about the neighbors. They will ask you questions. Well, what do you think they could sell their house for? What are they doing if they're asking you, the person you call circle dialing asks you what you think you can sell their neighbor's house for? What are they fishing for?
How much is their house worth?
Thank you. Exactly. And why do they want to know how much their house is worth?
They want to sell.
It's been crossing their mind, right? Remember, you step outside your office, you count 10 cars. One of them will buy or sell this year. It's a known fact. Every 10 people you talk to circle dialing, one of them will do business this year. Yeah, Marie, look at that. It's like, really? Yes. This is a numbers game. So who finds it a challenge picking up the phone and calling people? It's okay. Omika, you have that challenge? Yeah. If I gave you $5 every time you dialed the phone, would you care what they said? Take yourself off mute so we can hear you.
Well, a part of me, like, I'm not, I don't know. I guess I get a little frustrated from dialing and not getting any pickups.
Okay.
Because then
What
I feel like
happens- What happens if I give you $5 just to dial the phone, whether or not someone answered or not?
I would probably call as many as I can.
What if you could call 30 people in an hour? At
I
$5
can
each,
call
it's
that
100
many. What if
You-
they don't? What if I don't speak to them?
Doesn't
They
matter.
don't answer.
See, here's the trick and the key about prospecting, guys, and why script practicing is so important. Because this is a numbers game. If you call people for an hour, you don't have enough to be able to tell. If you call people for 3 months at 3 hours a day, every day, now you have data. And over time, I can assure you that your closing ratio goes up. It goes up by attending classes like these to practice scripts and to learn how to ask questions. And yes, you know what? If you could dial 70 phone numbers an hour and get paid $5 no matter what happened, you just did it over time, how motivated would you be? Yeah. And I can tell you, I know agents that are making between $1,000 and $1,500 an hour just to dial the phone, even if it's a wrong number or a non-existent number. Over time, it averages out. All right. So what else? What are you guys doing besides a class like this? What are you doing to practice your scripts and your role play every day? Do you have a group of people that you once a week, 5 times a week, whatever the consistency is, that you practice to get better? Liliana, you're nodding your head. Yes.
I have a
Awesome.
group at the office. I
You have a
practice.
group at the office?
Yeah, I practice once a week, and then with one partner on Monday. So I have 3 times a week.
Okay. James, how about you?
Well, we were, the Bloom team did predominantly script practice originally. Now they've moved more into more of the business side as opposed to the agent side,
Okay.
which is interesting, but we do that every morning from 7:30 to 8. So I do a lot like this with Denny, and then I do a lot of other, a lot of Tristan, listen to a lot of other casts and pick up other pieces of information.
Okay.
James,
So,
sorry, you
Liliana?
mentioned, does Denny has a book that we can purchase?
You know, that's a great question. I'm going to let Sherry Ann answer that question, either in the chat or send me an email to answer that one. You know, I only work with Denny every day. You'd think I would know the answer to that. Here's what I can tell you. All right. First of all, if you're a member of KCN, you are welcome to join any of our script and role play calls. We do them at 8:30 Eastern, 8:30 to 9 Eastern, Monday through Thursday. Secondly, I can tell you that.
Can we join that class or no?
What's that?
Can I join that class?
You may, yes. Do me a favor, put your email address in the chat box for me, and I will send you an email with the link, and you can join in. So here's the other thing I can tell you. If you've ever been to live music, okay, whether it's at a local nightclub, a local bar, or at the biggest stadium in town, all right, and you're seeing people perform. I'm just going to take a picture of this. This is going to be way easier. All right, when you're watching people perform, that's not work for them. The performance is their playtime. That's them having fun. We don't get to see the work. We don't get to see the hours and hours and hours of playing the same chord progression over and over and over again, okay? We don't get to see Tom Brady missing passes every single day, whether he overthrows or underthrows, whatever the case is. We don't get to see any of that. And our clients should not see us doing that. They should not see us fumbling. Our clients need to see us having fun. The best way to have fun is perfect your craft. The best way to perfect your craft is to practice. And it takes more than a 1 hour class once a week. It takes more than a half an hour a day to practice. So my advice to you guys is to attend the script and role plays sessions that Denny provides for everybody. And at the same time, get yourself 2 groups of people, a script partner and a role play partner, 1 for each day of the week, and choose different parts of the country, because you're all going to have different objections coming up. So you'll be able to learn that way. Your script practice is really simple. You read the script. Hi, my name is John McLeod with Denny Grimes and team at Keller Williams. I'm calling because you practice your script. Role play is you have a conversation back and forth. Script practice is you just read the paper, then the other person reads it back. Real quick, really boring. You internalize it, you own it, then you learn to have a conversation. After that, you go into role play where you own the script. It becomes a part of your daily conversation, your daily vernacular. Does that make sense? Lastly, I'm going to leave you with this, and Bryant, this tip is for you. Get 5 pennies or 5 paper clips, put them on the right side of your desk. When you start having a conversation with somebody and you find their objection, your goal is to go 5 questions deep into that objection. Every time you ask a question, you move that paper clip over or that penny over to the other side of your desk. When you get 5 questions deep, you will have uncovered the real reason for the objection, and you'll be able to handle it and be able to close the deal. Does that make sense? Guys, you've been awesome. It's 2 o'clock. I'm going to put my my email address up in the chat box. If anyone needs to reach out to me, you can reach me at this email, which is john@dennygrimes.com. No H. Happy to help you out with however I can. And next week, I do believe Denny will be back. Until then, you guys have a great day, all right?
Thanks, John. Good job.
Later, guys.
Thank you.